That Telltale video took a little while, huh? Originally, this video was meant to just be one giant video on the entirety of the Indigo disc, you know, from beginning to end. But then I was like, oh, that's gonna take so long. I don't even want to do that. Currently, for the Indigo disc, I've decided to split it up into like kind of arcs and like sagas, kind of like One Piece, because half of my team is a One Piece reference, and I felt like it was what needed to happen, because this video would not be out if I ended up just making it everything. We're gonna get straight into the first major this isn't even like an arc. Dude, what is it with Scarlet and Violet and taking so long to play the video game? I don't understand it. This one is just a joke. It's Romance Dawn, but ass. It's an accurate name. Like, this part is so short compared to everything else, but you have to understand, this part is only talking. Everything, like, it's just a bunch of dialogue, and I don't really care. I think the coolest part was like Lacey, you know what I mean, and her having an Excadrill, and then Plusle mine, and like that was kind of cool. I mean, I didn't know that she was related to Clay until I actually looked into it, which is kind of cool. It was fun to see those guys again. It was fun to fight Lacey, because this entire DLC is double battles, and to me, double battles is the coolest thing that's ever come out. Pokemon. Why don't we just have an entire Pokemon game dedicated to double battles? I don't know, but we should. Holy shit, the main part of the game is finally here. We can finally play the fucking game, and we're in the terrarium. We move on to the first actual saga, and I call this saga the Wandering Fools Saga, because really, the only thing that happens is me running around the terrarium looking for a team. Because usually what I do every time I play a new Pokemon game is I look for a new team. I wanted to get a new team, so I decided to start looking around the whole terrarium. I saw a lot of familiar faces when it comes to Pokemon. I was very happy. The one gripe was that Spinda wasn't in the game. But when the hell is Spinda gonna get a new Pokemon game? Never. So like, my life fucking sucks sometimes. Meloetta got in this game, and Meloetta's my second favorite Pokemon of all time. And you add her in the game for the first time in history? I'm wandering around, and still that question, who is gonna be on this new team? Because I don't have a Pokemon that, like, I started with. I just started with my Meowscarada and Clodsire that I used to beat the base game of Scarlet and Violet. And they're a little strong because they're at level 100, so I wanted to get somebody new. And then, uh-oh, he's real. Rhydon these nuts. I saw this cave while I was exploring, and it just had a lone Rhydon with Terra Water, which was interesting. I don't know why he was there. I don't know what he was expecting would happen, but it is kind of fire that he had Lightning Rod as his main ability. I ended up changing that later, and I ended up catching him, and it was pretty cool. I named him Jimbei. You know, the guy from One Piece, because I told you I was making a lot of One Piece references, so I just wanted to get. He was just sitting there alone, surrounded by water. I don't even know why he was there. Rhydon should not be alone in the water. I don't care if you're Terra Water, you cannot be there. We explore a lot more, and we move into the next arc, which has a pretty shitty name, admittedly, because there's not really much that even happens. Like, I mean, there's not really like a overall bit that kind of happens, but I guess it happens in a field of some sort, so I called it Field Fiasco. It doesn't really work. I found Esper, which Esper's not on my list for my favorite Pokemon, but its evolution, Meowstic, is. So I wanted to pick one up. I ended up picking up a male Meowstic on an accident, in which male Meowstic isn't bad, let's be completely real. I just prefer the female Meowstic. So I ended up abandoning the first Meowstic and ended up catching another one and ended up evolving her and naming her Robin. You know, the girl from One Piece. Yeah, that's 2 in a row. Besides that, I don't even progress through plot. Like, I mean, at that point, I didn't even know where the hell was supposed to be going. Like, I had 2 fucking Pokemon on my team. I have to find some more team adversaries. And I didn't even have to go that far, because I didn't even go like a couple minutes without seeing an Oddish. I I love Oddish. I love the entire Oddish line. Now, usually, I would evolve him into Vileplume, but this time, I wanted to be a little different. I wanted to be a little quirky, as you could say. I wanted to get a Blossom, because you never really get a chance to use Blossom. I just thought it was pretty cool, but I didn't have a Sunstone, so we'll think about that later. I ended up naming him Hatsune Miku 2, which I don't know where it came from. It's what he wanted, and I'm not gonna let anything get away from Hatsune Miku 2. I want him to become the next Hatsune Miku, and you know what you could say? You could say that he might be a blossoming star. That's the name of the arc, by the way. I forgot to mention that. That's the name of the arc. As we've already been doing, we explore and we go into from like the coastal biome to like Arctic freezing biome. I don't even know how we got there. And I find a Milcery. Now, I have to say something about this Milcery I caught. I named him Sanji. Sanji will never be used. Forget about him. You know, trust me, it'll make sense in a minute. And I find a Terra-fighting Duraludon. I never used Duraludon, but I did realize that Duraludon does have a new evolution in this DLC, and I love it. It might be really hard to draw, but I love it. I ended up changing Terra-fighting to Terra Dragon a lot later into the run, but trust me, the Terra-fighting was fun for a little bit. It was very easy for Robin to get rid of the Terra on Duraludon, and then I ended up catching him and naming him Frankie, which, actually no, we're 3 for 3 on accuracy from Pokemon to One Piece characters. The world became a better place when we got him, and we can just forget about Sanji, because literally right after that, I remembered that there was an event going on for slightly increased odds on Milcery outbreaks that were happening around the time. And Scarlet and Violet does that from time to time, where they have like golden outbreaks that have slightly increased odds for shinies. So I was like, okay, what if I do that? But once I figured that out, no more Sanji, it's now time to do a shiny hunt. But let's do a quick explanation on shiny hunting, just in case you might not know. So for outbreaks, you go to the Pokemon that currently has an outbreak, which is pretty clear, it shows on the map. You knock out 50 or 60 of that Pokemon, and you can make a sandwich that has sparkling power, which put up the table for that. I've used that too many times when going after some certain shinies. But this time, I didn't actually have any of the Herba Mystica to do that, so I ended up just going through with the sandwich and the shiny charm. Pretty much it's just the increased shiny odds that these outbreaks gave. I'm not gonna lie, man, I was going on a rampage. Me and Jinbei were killing the entire population of Milcery. And I was quickly going crazy, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had the best commentary ever. 23. 24. 25. 26. And I was just running around counting. It was doing, you know, the comedy's great. I was kind of losing things to say. Microwave Milcery. What would happen to a Milcery if you microwaved it? Like, what would happen if you microwaved it? It would turn into what shiny Milcery looks like. I actually think that way. I think the question should be, would I? And somehow, the whole bit dedicated to what would a microwaved Milcery look like, it ended up accidentally turning into the name not only of this arc, but also the name of my newly found shiny that I found a little bit later. Not even sure. Hey, wait. There it is! There she is! Look! Hold on! Haha! There it is! The microwaved! It's a microwave Milcery! It's like it was meant to be. She came in as she heard just a funny bit. She's in a love ball, and I love her. Now, everything was in place. I had a set of 5 Pokemon that I could go in and fight Carmen with, which was the first trainer in the entire game, by the way. Maybe I should evolve my Pokemon a little bit. Specifically, I should get Alcremie, but there was a reason why I didn't evolve Alcremie yet, and for everybody else, I either didn't know how to evolve or couldn't. So we're gonna talk about the next saga, which is called Carmen Hell. Trust me, there's a good reason for Carmen Hell. I got fucking owned by Carmen. It was like a joke. So, lost to Carmen incredibly bad. So, I knew I needed to evolve her, but I ended up getting a Sunstone for Miku. I ended up going to the BBL shop, which, okay, let me explain something real quick. So, the main thing in this game is that you have to beat the Blueberry League members, and just ironically, the whole thing with BBL just kind of came out, and it was so funny. I thought it was hilarious. It is funny. I got the item that you needed for Archaludon. I already had a protector in my inventory, so I just gave it to Jimbei. I just didn't have anybody to trade with yet. Anyway, we got everybody's evolved. I decided to fight Carmen again. Lost. And I think it's pretty obvious why I'm losing. Let's focus on Microwave for now, because I didn't want to just pick the first one I got and then gave it to Microwave and then that was it. I wanted to get the purple one. And, maybe I'm crazy, but maybe I think it just fits the vibe with this whole channel. And also, somehow, it looks nice with the burnt body that she'll have. Sounds a little weird to say that. Let's just say that I had no fun coming into this part. I had some ribbon rage. Let's talk about this. So, I want you to know that I spent 3 hours running around, and I even found 2 separate shiny Pokemon besides Microwave. I found a shiny Alolan Geodude that I ended up naming Copper, but when he evolved, I ended up naming him Meatball. And then I found a shiny Rhyhorn not too long after that I named Doo-Doo Pile, that I ended up later naming the Sickness, and it evolved to Rhydon. And you know what was even worse? We have to go over a lot of context real quick. If you want to actually listen to this, thank you. But if you don't really care, you could skip to like the timestamp of me when I stop yapping, okay? There you go. So the first 2 parts of Indigo Disc, which is where most of this stuff happened, I ended up having a little bit of an issue when it came to storage problems, and I didn't know why. So by the time I went to the 3rd part of Indigo Disc, I realized that I was recording all of my footage at 80,000 bitrate. What the fuck? It wasn't intentional. It's been moved down to 10,000, and I am so happy to get rid of these files because they're so huge. I literally couldn't put it on my Mac, which is what I usually use to edit. And all the audio from Audacity got cut out and replaced with something else because I didn't have enough storage to fully record it all. Yep. So it took me so long to find the stupid ribbon that I beat Carmen. Mind you, with Rhydon and Milcery. Not with their evolved forms. I beat Carmen without them. And let me remind you, what is the saga called again? Carmen Hell. Somehow, Ribbon Rage has become more hell than the actual Carmen Hell. I actually got through 2% of the story and I got to go to the League Club, which is where you use the BBL points to get cool things. It's all really cool. You can change your throwing style, unlock you a gacha machine that eventually gave me the purple ribbon that I needed. Wait. What? What? I spent a lot of my Pokemon materials that I don't think I've ever used in my entire life, and I got it. I'm the happiest man ever. I spin all of my sorrows away, and then she's real. Well, Microwave's evolving. I like to have the cool background up on her. Yay! Look at her! She is burnt. I love her so much. No, but you can't hurt her. I don't think you can. And you know what? We haven't given Jimbei enough love. Why don't we talk about him now? Because he's got his own little mini arc at the end of this part. We just need to evolve Jimbei. But I didn't have anybody that I could just be like, hey, do you want to evolve my Rhyperior? Can I trade with you? So we have to use the power of dark spells and time travel, baby, because we are casting some spells back in time and trade with myself from the past. Shout out to Dawn, by the way. She's a real one. She really is. Thank you for evolving my Rhyperior. He had to go. This is training arc. Don't worry, this is his training arc. Rhyperior! Rhyperior is real! Jinbei was very confused. She gave him a protector, and then he was just like, alright, I'm cool again. And then she sent him back through time, and hey, now we have a Rhyperior. Through Carmen Hell, as well as Ribbon Rage, as well as all the other things that have happened, and all the annoying things that have happened related to this specific video. It's the worst thing I've gone through. And you know what's crazy? You are not prepared for the next saga.